Goodness gracious, hold on. Getting my wallet, no. There we go. How's it sound?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Funny accent.
I don't think so.
Okay, this was a special request. I haven't told this story in a while, but to explain how this happened, you have to know a couple of little things. I got my start doing hospital work, and my wife Deborah is a pediatric nurse, and so I started visiting the children at UNC Children's Hospital, and I also was visiting the children at Duke Children's Hospital. And Deb would always go with me. She was excellent as an assistant. And I said, there's got to be more that I can do. I would spend the whole day at the hospital, and I'd come away exhausted, but I always felt like I wanted to do more for those families. And Deborah said, I know, but you're really doing a lot for them. But one day, I was driving down the highway, and by golly, it hit me. I had the perfect thing to do for certain families. And I came home and I said, Deborah, I have figured it out. And you know what she said? Uh-oh. She knows me pretty good. I said, I know what I'm going to do. Because, you know, the nurses and doctors always try to send the children home for Christmas. Even if they're sick, they try to get them well enough to where they can send them to have Christmas at home. And I said, I want to offer something really special. She said, what? And I said, well, how would it be if they wake up on Christmas and I'm in their house and they're hiding with their parents and they watch me do all the stuff that Santa Claus does Christmas. I put the presents under the tree, drink the milk, eat the cookies, read their letters, and they get to see everything happen secretly. They're hiding. I pretend I don't know where they are, you see, but they get to see me in action, and they see the real, in their minds, the real Santa Claus in their house on Christmas, putting the presents under the tree. She said, are you crazy? I said, no, that'd be cool. She said, well, you're going to have to try it out. So we found a family that we knew that had two little ones. They were perfectly all right, little ones, but we knew they would be up for an experiment. And so I called the family and I said, I got this crazy idea. Y'all willing to try it? And Lord, when they heard the idea, they said, oh yeah. So we went over there on the very first Christmas Eve for them. It was like 11:45 at night, and we called them on the cell phone, went in. Oh my goodness, it was the best thing ever. Got in that house, and they had all the children's presents on the dining room table, and I loaded them in my toy bag. And I went and did the Christmas tree room, and I stood over by the stockings. I had told the family to go ahead and load the stockings, and I was just putting this one candy bar in and out, waiting for then the mom and daddy to go wake up the two children. And that's when I realized that we didn't have a system for when they were going to be in position. But thank goodness that mama coughed. She gave me just a little cough, and I knew they were in position, and I started acting out the part of Santa Claus. It was glorious. It was as close as we can come to being Santa. I put the presents under the tree out of my toy bag. I ate the cookies. I drank the milk. It was the best experience ever, except for the dog. See, we all forgot that damn dog. He liked to sleep with the little girl, and they had gotten her up, and he stayed in the bed, but he heard me. And that was a problem, because when he woke up, his little girl wasn't in bed. There was a stranger in the house. And I don't care what you say. Them animals, they don't care if you got a red suit and a white beard. If they find you in a house, they're going to eat your you-know-what. All I could think at the time was, oh, Lord, they're going to see me get eaten by their puppy dog. Terrible thing. But the Father saved me. He caught that puppy dog before it got to me and put him in the garage. The children were so scared when the dog let out a bark that they vanished under their beds. And as we drove home, Mom and Daddy called us up in the car, and they said that was the most glorious thing ever. Oh, Lord, they heard you on the roof. I said I wasn't on the roof. We know you weren't on the roof, but they heard you on the roof. They heard the bells. I was so fired up. All I wanted to do was more sneak peeks. It was incredible. And Deborah knew. She knew that she couldn't do anything to stop me. So, you know how quick Christmas comes? Well, buddy, I told the nurses and the doctors at UNC Children's Hospital and at Duke Children's Hospital what we wanted to do. Guess what? 7 names. 7 families they gave us that they knew were going to be home. I called every single parent, went to their houses to check out the lay of the land. I wanted everything to be perfect. Deborah says, this is the next year now. You understand that. The first year we just did the one. Next year, she says, how many you got? I said, 7. Oh, then she came on board. Oh, I love this woman. You know what she did? She got thermoses of coffee. She got sandwich bags that she put sandwiches in because we weren't starting until 12 a.m. And we had over 128 miles of route to drive. So we were going to be out to 5:30 in the morning doing these 7 sneak peeks. And my wife, she completely blacked out our car so that when you opened up a door, not a single light came on. Because everything had to be stealthy. Oh, we couldn't risk a child looking out a window seeing a car drive away. No, it had to be as real as you could make it. And when we took out that night, we had 2 GPS systems in case one went down. We had a notebook with complete notes for each house. We had a cooler of sandwiches and thermoses of coffee, and I was in my finest suit with fur up to the front and wearing my best hat, had my best toy bag, fully clothed, boots, leather belt, the whole shooting match. Got to the first house, it was just before 12 midnight. Called the parents, she sat in the car. At the time, she wasn't going in for them, it was just me. I walked up to the door, parents let me in. There were all the presents in the dining room. I loaded them in my toy bag, went and took my position by the stocking. They woke the children up and hid. Oh, it was something. Went over there to the cookie plate. Now, you know, this is where I want all of you people to think back to your childhood. In my house, he ate all the cookies. In my house, Santa didn't leave any cookies. Buddy, what you left for Santa, he ate every damn cookie. I got that plate of cookies. They put a bag's worth of cookies on there. All I could think about is, oh, good Lord. I started eating cookies, putting presents under the tree. I had to keep coming back because I knew they all had to be gone. Thank goodness I had a big glass of milk. That's the only thing that saved me was drinking that milk, but I ate every single one of those cookies, and it was wonderful. I thought, this is perfect planning. Got back to the car, Deborah, she's excited. She said, how'd it go? I said, well, I tell you, it was pretty good. But I don't know how I'm going to be able to handle these cookies. She said, what do you mean? I never discussed with her about what they did at her house. You know, at her house, they left 1 or 2 cookies out. I said, the lady left like 30 cookies. I ate all the cookies. She said, are you crazy? This is my wife. I said, I had to eat the cookies. She said, don't eat the cookies. You can't do 6 more houses and keep eating cookies like that. I said, what do I do? She said, oh, good God. She said, hold on. And this week, stop. Pull over to the side of the road. She reaches behind and gets one of our sandwiches. Takes that sandwich out of the bag, gives me that 1-gallon Ziploc bag, says, put that in your belt. I said, what for? She said, eat 1 or 2 of the cookies, dump the rest in your bag, and then as you put them down in your belt, say, oh, the elves are going to like these cookies when I get back to the North Pole. I said, that's ingenious. I was so excited. So house number 2, got the presents in the bag. I'm over there by the stocking, stuffing, waiting for the family to come. Family gets in there, hiding position, and I go into my routine. Another plate full of cookies. Do you think it bothers me 1 lick? I ate 1 cookie, took that plate of cookies and dumped them in there and shoved it in my belt. There's a glass of milk sitting there. Santa also always drank the milk. I wasn't real thirsty, but I had to drink that milk. I drank that milk, put the rest of the presents under the tree, rang the bells as I was leaving, came back out, got in the car. I was kind of quiet. Deborah said, how'd it go? I said, oh, your idea was wonderful. I said, look at this. And I held up a bag with at least half a dozen Oreos in it and some other assorted cookies. She says, great, dump them out here. You'll get an empty bag and be for the next one. So I was kind of quiet riding down the road. She says, anything wrong? I said, no. We got the next house, number 3. I went in that house and same thing. Put cookies in the bag, everything under. We had the animals taken care of. Why, if they even had a hamster, that sucker was locked up. You know, I wasn't taking any chances with animals from that day on. But guess what they had for me? Another glass of milk. Oh, buddy, I don't know what people think you need a 12-ounce glass of milk. I drank, and it was chocolate. So I thought, well, that's okay. So I drank that milk, did my thing, left, and I go back and I get in the car. Deborah says, another good one. I said, yeah. We're sitting there, and I know you've all heard this noise before. It's the noise your belly makes various times to where you go, uh-oh. My wife's a nurse, and she got a sensitive ear as well as a nose, and she says, was that you? I said, yes, it was. She said, my God, what happened? I said, honey, that's the third glass of milk I've had. She said, you're drinking all the milk? I had Santa. He ate all the cookies, drank all the milk. She said, you can't drink that much milk. I said, I've already done 3. She said, listen to what sounds your stomach's making. Number 4. This time I was walking just a little bit slower. I loved her cookie idea. Why the hell did you think of something to do about the milk? Is what I want to know. But I got in that 4th house and I ate half a cookie. I didn't even eat a whole cookie in that house. Oh my God, there's another glass of milk. And in this one, they had poured it at like 4:30 in the afternoon. You have not lived till you drink milk that's not cold at all. And it's been sitting there in a glass since 4:30 when the children set the cookies dish up, you know. Drank that and I got back in the car. And I said, sweetie, I said, we got a serious problem. Now, bear in mind, I was in my absolute best Adele suit with the zipper up the front. And I'm sitting there focusing all my attention on the dash light, just kind of staring at it, trying to hypnotize myself into believing nothing is going on in my stomach. And it wasn't working. By this time it was 3:30 in the morning. Christmas. Nothing was open, and mist and rain, and as we're driving down the road, up ahead there was kind of a glow. And I said, oh my God, there's something up ahead. And we went up over a hill, and there it was, like a beacon from God. It was a Sheetz. In our neck of the woods, that's a gas station that was open all night on Christmas. There wasn't any cars there. I said, good Lord, pull up. Well, you don't even park. Just pull up on the side of the building. Now, you know, it is a funny thing about the human body. You folks know that when you got to go and you're headed home what happens is your car gets closer to home.
Run out of gas.
No, the urge gets much stronger. Because your body knows you're close to where you need to be. So it starts to let everything go. And I'm sitting in that car and I have puckered everything I got. Listen, if I could have tied a rope around my bottom, I would have. I was so tight. She says, there you go. And I opened that door, and in my mind's eye, I saw myself running up to that door to hit that door and go to the bathroom. At the same time, disrobing, because I knew by the time I got in the door, I wasn't going to have time to do anything. And as I opened up that car door and I stepped out, I realized there's no running with this body at all. It was a walk where you can't hardly put one foot in front of the other. I'm sure you've all been there before. But I kind of stepped up mechanically to that door, and I opened the door, and my eyes were starting to water. Because all I could think is, this is my best Adele suit. And I had 2 more houses to do. And there was this young girl at the counter with an EMT sitting there like this. Both of them had a cup of coffee. And the door opened, a little bell kind of jingled, and they looked up. And I said, where's your bathroom? And the girl couldn't talk. She just pointed. God is my witness. It's a miracle that I got in that stall when I did. What I never realized until I had a colonoscopy is that stuff they give you to drink for a colonoscopy, you just drink milk. You do not need to spend the money for that. I will guarantee you drink 4 glasses of milk, it will clean you out. The good news is that I won't go into any more descriptive phrases, but I had a successful visit. I was able to disrobe and re-robe, and I felt much better to where I was walking like normal by the time I got to the door. And I was so thrilled that I couldn't wait to tell Deborah that everything was good. The bathroom was never going to be the same, but everything else was good. And as I got to that door, I turned around, and that girl just had her mouth open, and that boy was still looking at me. And I said, you know, I have never been able to convince the elves it's necessary to put a toilet in this sleigh. Thank you so much. And they didn't say a word. I got back in the car, and she says, are you good? I said, yeah, but I said, keep the lights off, roll the window down, and I took my bells, and I hit those sleigh bells for everything I was worth, and I yelled out, giddy up, boys! Loud enough for the 2 people in that to hear me, and off we drove into the mist. But there's a lesson here that you need to learn. when you're doing a sneak peek, and this is critical. Now listen up. A sneak peek is the greatest thing you can do. But do not drink the milk.